who doesn't love some good World Junior hockey every once in a while? I know all the sports department just glued to the TVs all today. Maybe most of the news department too. I'm not going to name names.
Don't lie, Bart. You were as glued as much as the rest of the country.
The TV's right beside my desk. I didn't really have much of a choice.
That's how you call it. I'll say this, though. Don't have the highlights right now. We will in our second segment of sports. And tune in with all the World Junior action that's happening today as well. Just
absolutely. And sticking to hockey, local hockey, Lloydminster Bandits are actually back on the ice after a long break.
And they're finally excited to actually get back on the ice, like you said, Bart. They ended 2014, at least that part of the schedule, with 3 straight wins. Coach Adam Andrew kept practice light this week, hoping the kids get a chance to work off those turkey legs from the break. The team sits in the middle of the pack, just 8 points back of the Killam Wheat Kings for 4th place. They believe that they're much better, though, than their record indicates.
I think if we would have came off to a better start, we would have got excited about something we didn't have yet, and it takes seeing the bottom to get to the top, and I think we've kind of seen that this year, and I hope it is the bottom because, I mean, we're working towards a good playoff run.
I think we haven't met expectations so far, and that's on me, obviously, too, but it's always a growing experience every year, different team, you're always trying new things, but I'm still fairly confident in this group and myself. We were able to come into the Christmas break on a strong note, so it was almost too bad we had to stop for the Christmas break, but at the same time it was nice to see the guys finally start to catch their stride.
The Bandits return to action Sunday as they host Killam. Now, Greek philosopher Aristotle wrote, "Excellence is an act, or not an act, but a habit." For years, Holy Rosary Raiders football coach Vince Orieux's commitment to excellence has been recognized by teachers, parents, players, and even NFL Canada for all his accomplishments and accolades. 2014 was truly a special day or year for him and the program.
You look at this team and kind of how they formulated. How is it in the mind of a head coach where you kind of find that identity and say, this is who we are, this is how we're going to play, and that's how we are moving forward?
Yeah, you know, that sort of came about in the springtime. I think I knew what we were dealing with. The kids called a meeting on their own. There were no captains at that time, but the senior kids, and they called a meeting in the chapel with the whole team during spring camp, and they sort of laid it on the line as to what their plan was for the season, what their goals were. Most importantly, they determined how they were going to treat each other, and they were going to treat each other like family and like brothers. And regardless if you were in grade 10 or if you were in grade 12, everybody was going to be equal. And it was kind of at that moment I remember sending Dustin a text and saying, you know, we got a special group of kids here.
I did want to talk about Drew McEachern and what transpired with this team once they found out of what happened, and to lose not just a student but a teammate as well.
Yeah, it's tough when you lose a student, and it amplifies it a bit when you lose a teammate. I think it brought into perspective for the kids how precious life is, and when you have an opportunity, you take advantage of an opportunity, and you just do what you can every day to make the best of it.
You're trying to make it to the Wheatland final and win that, and then hit the provincials. You've come up short 3 times in the Wheatland prior to, since 2011. So was there like frustration building, or what was kind of going in your mind trying to reach that final but not yet grabbing it just yet?
Yeah, you know, football's a process. It's like any other sport's a process, and you don't want to devalue winning because it's important. That's part of the reason why kids play. But if you can teach them lessons along the way, sportsmanship and teamwork and all those values that go along with being on a team, that's first and foremost. These kids are student athletes, they're not just athletes. So there's a whole bunch of lessons. Winning's nice. It's definitely not the only thing.
The determined focus to go into that Wheatland Football Championship, win that, and then all of a sudden you're in provincials. Kind of take me through that whole provincial step up to the final.
They actually started working harder. I saw more out of the group once provincial started than I did, say, a month prior. They really refocused themselves and to get back to that championship game.
Take me back to that final game, the moment that you were there with the team on the field. Was there an air of confidence for you guys? Because it seemed like this year was different from years past. It was almost, I guess we could joke around, we always hear this term, destiny, but was that the case?
For the first time in 3 trips, we walked onto that practice field with a little bit of swagger, like we were supposed to be there. Not that we were somebody else's guest. We felt that we absolutely belonged there and that we were the team to beat. We did it with the right attitude, with a work ethic attitude, where we weren't taking anything for granted. But the kids knew that if they played the way they could, that the championship would be theirs. And they really showed up on that Friday afternoon. It was tremendous.
You had a great, remarkable year, and it just had to be spoiled because the NFL Youth Coach of the Year did not go to you. You finished runner-up, which is quite impressive, but you couldn't quite finish off the trifecta.
Yeah, the only single or isolation award in the team, and I came in second. Like it's not the way it's supposed to work in this year. It's supposed to be number one. I've mentioned this before. I don't do this for any sort of recognition. I do this for the kids. But to get recognized is nice when somebody takes the time to write up a nomination and kind of highlights all the things you're involved in. It puts it into perspective, and you can sit back and say, yeah, you know what, it's nice to get recognized.
Vince Orieux, truly one of the greatest coaches and great person to talk to. Thank you so much for the interview, by the way. That is your first look at sports. Gerard Lampow has your weather details coming up.